the legend of Jizzle James gets greater when you just know that his dad is Edrin James.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna vote him, but it's so funny that a star named their child Jizzle. He looks like
I got a story.
What a crazy world. Okay, welcome to the bracket, episode 166. Myself, Tommy Smokes, Doogs, Blutman, KB, and Che. Surprise topic for them today, which is kind of related to one we did a while back. Today we're doing the best names in college basketball, which is why, Blutman, I wanted to grab you. We did best names in college football a while back.
I'm stunned we haven't done this already.
Me too. And I was like, we're in March. Why not just hit up college basketball while we're here? But yeah, so brought in Blutman for this, brought in Dukes for this. Also, obviously, for the last time we had you on, by the way, I think the old guy sayings one?
Yeah.
I made a Photoshop of you crying for it. Like, it was a Photoshop of you as an old guy crying.
Yeah.
It was horrifying.
I hated. I was gonna text you that.
It was
hated
gross.
that picture so much.
It was so gross.
So just because you're saying March Madness, it is bracket season. This could maybe be one of the worst ideas ever. But what if for one bracket we just fill out the March Madness bracket collectively as a group?
As an actual group.
just put in
as
a lot
bonus
of thought.
Just
try
like
to be
fit,
rational.
do a ton of research and be like, like I don't know if Charleston will be able to defend like the 3 of Auburn. Like,
Just a serious episode.
yeah, there's like a real
completely.
scouting, like a 63 matchup.
Having like Bosco come in with like every single analytic possible.
8 hours.
And by the way, similar to the last time, we will be doing. I have one entry in here which is fake. I made it up, and
Right.
whoever spots it
I'll
first.
guarantee you I spotted.
Which one was fake last time?
I did like a fake White Sox Dave thing where it was.
Were you?
You
on
were meant to
it,
bet on this
Tom?
episode.
Oh, I thought you meant as in the. I wasn't on this one. I thought you meant the college or the town names. Was fake.
No, sorry.
Gotcha.
The one we did the football, and I did like it was White Sox Dave as what was his name? Wet Gaylord. Wet Gaylord was his name in that. But before we get to that, let's talk about ZocDoc. Me and Tommy is like I think favorite all time
Love
sponsor.
ZocDoc. My roommate I put him on ZocDoc. He made a physical this weekend. Physical appointment. It's the best.
Big step.
Use them for a long time before ever becoming a sponsor. They're the best. Have you ever woken up with a funky symptom like a swollen, itchy eye, funky-looking rash, tight pain in your neck, and immediately Googled it, searched TikTok, whatever, to find out what's wrong? If you've gone down that rabbit hole, but it's time to stop and get the care you really need with ZocDoc. It's the free app and website where you can search and compare high-quality in-network doctors and instantly book an appointment. We're talking about booking in-network appointments with more than 100,000 doctors across every specialty, from mental to dental, primary to urgent care, and more. You can filter doctors that take your insurance, are located nearby, or are a good fit for any medical need that you may have, and are highly rated by verified patients. Appointments made through ZocDoc happen fast, typically within 24 to 72 hours of booking, so you can even score same-day appointments. Stop putting off those doctor's appointments and go to ZocDoc.com/lights. Find and instantly book a top-rated doctor today. That's ZocDoc.com/lights, ZocDoc.com/lights. Okay, like I mentioned to you guys before, I think I'm going to send pictures for this one. Just makes it a little bit easier for the visual, because I did that last time, right? I believe, with the football ones.
I think so. Yeah. That works.
So I'll send you our first matchup now.
I do really hope. Like I do know the best name in college basketball going into this. So I'm
Wait, sorry. Are these only current players?
Oh, these are only for this season, not all time.
Right. So,
Yeah.
Okay.
Liam, you probably know these guys already.
I don't know. I've checked out on college basketball.
Yeah,
Bosco
you
once
gave
I
up.
had,
You gave up on college basketball.
because very fitting for this episode, I suppose. When I watch basketball now, whether it be on TV, in person, or at the office, I want to go sleep. It's like just I guess burnt out is the correct
You're balled
term.
out, yeah.
Bored to death by watching it. Free throws every single second. The refs it's overwhelming. I don't know, man. It's not. I grew out of it. 26 now, grown man.
You grown out of college basketball.
Yeah, I think so.
So our first matchup of the day
enough.
is the number 12 seed Cli'Ron Hornbeak from Kent State. Shout out to KB.
Okay.
Up against number 5 seed Supreme Cook, forward out of Oregon.
Supreme Cook off the bat is going to be tough to beat.
And I sent you guys the pictures as well. Cli'Ron Hornbeak.
I don't know why we have the pictures, but I like that we do.
Pictures
I think it helps a lot. I don't know why. I always feel like it helps.
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
visualizing
Supreme
it.
Cook is better looking.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Go on.
I think Hornbeak is such a funny last name.
I'm into names like that. That they're like Supreme Cook is just 2 words, but if you're
All names are
Hornbeak,
usually.
Most names, yeah.
Hornbeak is just a good name.
Not
on itself,
most
though.
names. Hornbeak ain't in the dictionary.
That's true. It's almost like not actually redundant, but like a Hornbeak. Like
Yeah.
it's two kind of similar to each.
Two very similar.
Yeah, and Supreme Cook, like, I don't get the first name Supreme. Like, last name Supreme would actually be awesome for a basketball player. But yeah, so Supreme Cook versus Cli'Ron Hornbeak. We'll start with you, Blutman.
I remember Supreme Cook from his days at Fairfield. I'm taking Supreme Cook here. I think that's a great name. Thought of this too, just with what you said. If his name was Cook Supreme, I do think that'd be a little cooler. But Supreme Cook all in on, I think he'll be tough to beat. And yeah, he better be a good cook. I think he is. Wonder what his favorite dishes.
It would be really bad if he wasn't. Yeah, or if he was just Uber.
Very embarrassing if he's
Yeah.
not.
Who was the? Do you remember that? I think it was Xavier basketball player that was like an Uber driver on the side, and then like he was like one of those March Madness like heroes. He was like a big doofy white guy from Xavier.
Oh yeah. Fuck. What was his name? He wore like number
Goggles.
55.
Yeah.
Like a ridiculous.
JP
was it-
Makura.
No, it
Macura?
wasn't JP.
No.
Was it? Did Fremantle
Kyle?
do Uber?
It might have been Kyle something, or something like that. Yeah, but I don't know. But I remember that guy that's big funny. The fact that like he's just destroying people.
Yeah, he was
in
like a
March Madness.
25-year-old Uber driver.
Yeah, and he was just Uber driving on the side.
There was a college basketball game, I want to say 4 years ago, if anyone remembers, during COVID in the A10 Duquesne, where somebody was on the sidelines
Look
and
that
got
up.
DoorDash delivered to them middle of the game.
It's kind of awesome.
Yeah, that's cool.
So one for Supreme Cook, KB.
Yeah, I mean,
Matt
Cli'Ron,
Stainbrook.
Hornbeak.
Stainbrook. Yeah, good call.
I know it's Stainbrook. Hornbeak is funky, but Supreme Cook, it's less funny than it is just really cool. Just like Top Chef for a basketball player. I think that's awesome. Supreme Cook, it's
But if you're
It's good.
if
Yeah.
you're
Oh,
Supreme,
sorry. What is the? Is it best?
just better,
funniest?
better,
Best?
better in this case will be probably funniest too.
Or more unique.
Yeah.
Cli'Ron Hornbeak is groovy, or it's not. I don't know. It's too.
Sounds like a
crazy
jazz
syllables.
player from the 20s.
Yeah.
It also helps when
Yeah.
you know what school they play for.
Yeah. Hornbeak is Kent State.
Right.
Supreme
Like
Cook, yeah.
Hornbeak on not Kent State's probably pretty cool.
Yeah. Hornbeak is
I
kind of a
don't
tough
know.
one. Supreme Cook though, like, can you also not ever get like crossed over because then like you get cooked? Like you can't fuck up if you're Supreme Cook. You have to be very good. Like you can't be the cook. Che.
It's got to be Supreme Cook. I mean, post college, like if these guys go pro, if they don't, Cli'Ron Hornbeak, like that's just gonna get butchered throughout, and people are gonna make Hornbeak. But like Supreme Cook, like there are only a few things that guy can do in life. So obviously, being an athlete or basketball player is the best case scenario, but there are a lot of worst case scenarios.
Or a
But
chef.
even
A chef
if you got
would
a
probably-
Chef would
probably
Some would say.
apropos.
but imagine getting like a cold call, be like, "Hey, this is Supreme Cook. Can I talk to Tommy?" That's getting through.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
great
So,
point.
I don't know. I think Supreme Cook has more legs, and then also, yeah, this looks like an actual basketball photo, whereas Cli'Ron Hornbeak looks like he just woke up.
You're judging it based off their photos?
The Kent
I'm
State
gonna be
buddy.
judging
Something
them a
for a
little
reason,
bit
right?
based on looks.
I like that.
He looks sedated. Yeah.
Dukes.
Supreme Cook. I also try to picture like an announcer in March Mania, like saying his name, like Supreme Cook
Yeah.
is cooking tonight at the Garden. It just fits. It works. It's the best basketball name I think out there. Supreme Cook.
Supreme Cook. Surprised he's not in
Also,
the
just like picturing him like in like 10 years not playing basketball anymore, working at like a Hooters as the cook.
Yeah, he would
Talk-
work at a Hooter.
Yeah, like just being like, man, yeah, I went off for 30 points in March. It just fits.
You really can't do any other job. Like, would you trust him if he was like your town sheriff? Like Sheriff
Yes.
Supreme
Hey,
Cook?
They're
Yeah.
also
That actually is one of the things he
Big
could.
time.
yeah,
do.
because
Yeah.
if he's your Uber driver and it's like Supreme Cook is picking you up,
Well,
you're
he
like,
wouldn't
"Oh."
have his last name.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
Supreme,
Supreme
is
is picking you
up,
you
still
You'd
got
be
it.
like, all right, like, wait, why are you 6'8" driving Uber?
Supreme Cook.
Like, what happened? And then he's like, yeah, I used to play basketball. You're like, oh, what happened? Why did you become
or like
a
Supreme Cook Attorney at Law? Like, does that, like, I don't know how many jobs you can do.
Yeah.
Side note: being 6'8", like, probably sucks, just because everyone's gonna be like, "Why didn't you play basketball?" I'll be like, yeah, I did for a little bit, and then I wasn't good enough.
Right. I'm
That's like
incredibly
your opening
unathletic.
conversation to
Yeah.
every conversation with strangers.
I do know a story about this girl that I'm friends with. She was like, "Oh, I met a guy at the bar last night. He's 6'7". I was like, "Oh, did he play basketball?" She's like, "No, he didn't. Like, not even in college." I asked him, and I was like, "Yeah, don't text him. Like, that's very embarrassing. Like,
Jesus
why?
Christ.
Like, if you're 6'7" and you didn't play a Division I sport, do not text that guy."
Yeah.
That is bad. Yeah.
Sometimes that's how it rolls. I think like my buddy's brother-in-law was a center at Quinnipiac, and he's 6'11", I think. But he's like, yeah, my career highlight was getting destroyed by Jeremy Lin in a tournament
That's good.
in a regular season game.
That's not bad.
Yeah, that's a great
not
story.
bad. Tommy.
Supreme Cook, easily. I mean, it borderline took my breath away. It wasn't quite Satan's Kingdom, but when I saw Supreme Cook, it was. I mean, he might not even be that good at basketball. He might be here on name only. Like, there's a chance that he you could start him over another. Like, if you're recruiting Supreme Cook or Jeff Smith, you're gonna take Supreme Cook pretty much every time. So
And
You
he
want
is
him on the team.
he is pretty good.
Yeah.
is he?
Yeah,
That's great.
it helps a lot.
Good for him.
I'm surprised he's not in the WNBA. Next matchup we have is, let's see, number 4 seed as Supreme Cook moves on. Our number 4 seed, Always Wright.
Okay.
Always Wright is the guard for Rhode Island, and he's going up against Moses Hips. Moses Hips, guard out of Boise State.
Always Right. Is that the fake one?
No, he's real, very real. That was your
Is
guess,
there
by
a
the
fake
way.
one in here?
There's only one guess.
Yeah, you only get one guess.
Oh, I didn't know that, so I'm not guessing.
Oh, well, you already guessed it.
I didn't know I only had one guess.
So Always Wright versus Moses Hips. So we'll start out with you this time, Tommy.
I mean, always right. That's incredible.
Always Wright is.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, does he have no left? Get
That's
it?
true.
Yeah.
I'm sure that joke is made a lot.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Good
No
one,
left.
Tommy.
Yep, thank you. Some are saying a joke or pun of the episode.
What?
Is that like his real first name?
This is his given first name.
And his parents are dickheads.
Yeah.
But Moses Hips is. I guess Hips is a interesting.
It's just
last
weird
name.
arrangement of words. I think
It
that's what
is
makes it
Moses
funny.
Hips.
It's just
is
bizarro.
funny, but always.
And he looks
I'm
funny.
going always. I mean, always right. That's awesome.
Yeah.
One for Always Right.
Moses Hips is a cool name, but in the basketball
Hip
sense,
Moses would be better, I think.
yeah, you could,
Yeah, it's like hypnosis.
Yeah.
even Wright always.
Yeah. Right always would be good too.
Right always
Yeah.
would be good.
Episode.
And when you do think of this in the basketball terms, it's always right. And I hate that Tommy got the pun of the episode.
Yeah.
Well, hey, plenty of
Always-
game
A lot
of time to go.
Boys, plenty of
But also,
game
like,
left.
if you're guarding always right and he blows by you left, that's embarrassing.
imagine he's a lefty.
Yeah, that would be a shame.
That would be a damn shame. So you're going with Always Right, Che?
I don't think Always Right's a good basketball name because inevitably you're going to miss a shot, in which case it opens you up for you. I thought you were always right. So give me Moses Hips.
But does hitting a shot make you right?
No.
Yeah, that's the basketball equivalent of being right.
Being right? You're just saying you're instead of being wrong when you miss?
Yeah,
I guess so.
you miss a shot,
Yes.
you're wrong.
Yeah. It might be a stretch. So, but one for Moses Hips regardless. KB?
I don't like Always Right. I think it's too manufactured. It was obviously his name was Right, and the parents tried to do something. I don't know if they were trying to be funny or cool or. I just don't like it. It doesn't have like a cultural identity to me. It doesn't have flair to me. Moses Hips, I think, is great. Like biblical figure plus body part.
Weird body part. Yeah.
That's hilarious. I think it's the perfect body part to come after Moses.
Yeah.
It's goofy for sure, but I like it. I'm going Moses Hips.
So we are 2-2. You're going to break the tie, Blutman. Always Right or Moses Hips?
I'm on the hunt to find out if Always Right shoots with his left or right.
Let's
All I
see.
was able to find was a left-handed layup. Tough layup. I actually hate the other guy's name. I hate Moses Hips. The first thought when I heard Moses Hips, I kind of want, I want one of these and kind of maybe punch him. I don't like that name at all. I'm
Why?
all in on all. I don't know. I just
Wow.
it was
Strong
a name.
reaction,
it was,
Blutman.
yeah, I know it was a name.
This guy led your
that
people
made
out of
me-
Egypt. He should be a hero.
I don't know. It was a name that made me angry, and I can't really.
Yeah, that's all you gotta
can't
say.
look past that. Always Right. Again, weird to name. Like it is odd to name your kid Always.
It just doesn't have like a human
No.
flair to it. Like that's,
No, it's
that's
just-
not a
it's
dude.
not- it's-
That's a 2-word phrase.
It's not.
Moses hips, like naming your kid Moses is funny, and no one really
that's
does
so
it.
true.
And then you also get hips.
You could say hips don't
Like,
lie.
In
and
basketball,
Yeah,
though,
yeah.
Moses is like a pretty common name.
Not,
Yeah.
not that crazy.
Oh, is it?
I
Moses
feel like
Malone.
yeah,
Yeah, Moses
Malone
Malone
was
was like a
pretty
pretty
common.
Yeah.
I feel like
Okay.
there's always
One
going
of
to be
the
like
80s.
five Moseses a year in the NCAA.
It's still a lot of
That's
Moses.
a lot. That's more than I would have assumed.
All right,
I will
always
say that
right,
when
choose
all
what is right.
when the all name teams come out, like every single preseason, all I think about is how big of assholes the parents are.
Yeah, sometimes
yeah.
there's some real
Yeah.
jerk
Like
names.
exactly what KB was
But
saying.
Moses hips has a lot on the table. You can call him Mo. You can call him just Moses.
Mo
you can call him
Hips.
hips. Mo
You
You think
Hips
hips.
is
always right
nice.
goes by Al at all?
Yeah. What do you call always
you
right?
call him Al?
You call him an asshole.
Always isn't a
You
name.
call his parents an Al.
Yeah.
You can't
You
shake.
can't blame him.
Just imagine being like, "Yo, always." No.
But
you
also
hate
calling him
Mo-
an Al would suck.
Who's coming to the party? You know,
Ow.
always. Like it's like
Yeah.
if always is going. I don't want to go. It's
Yeah,
tough.
you got to call it like he's like Jeff Lowe. Like you got to call him by both
Yeah.
names. All
Yeah,
the time.
yeah.
He's
that's my full
always
name.
right.
Maybe they call him like A-Dub, which just I hate
AW.
that.
A and W is not bad.
Yeah,
Ooh,
maybe.
A&W's
Wow.
pretty
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think we just solved it.
that's really cool.
All right, yeah, I'm going with always right though. The parents are mean, but what are you gonna do?
So always right is going to move on. Now we have the 9 seed versus the 8 seed.
Can we guess the fake name at the end of the first round, or do we have to call it out in real time?
You have to call it out in real time.
I didn't use my guess yet.
So our 9 seed versus the 8 seed. The 9 seed is Tennessee Rainwater. Tennessee Rainwater is a guard forward combo out of Utah Tech. He's going up against number 8 seed Caillou, center out of Liberty.
I'm
guy's
calling
a
bullshit.
center?
I'm calling bullshit.
You're calling bullshit on who?
Tennessee Rainwater.
Tennessee Rainwater is very real.
Tennessee
very real
Rainwater's
man.
Very real.
I feel like I've seen that before.
I haven't seen that one yet.
There goes your guess. So Tennessee Rainwater versus Caillou, starting with you, Blutman.
I might have to circle back to Caillou in a bit, but Tennessee Rainwater, very real, great name, interesting name that you could spend a few hours just thinking about before you fall asleep. That's the pick for me. I got nothing clever to say. I'm not coming for pun of the episode.
The thing with Tennessee Rainwater to me is that like it's not really a good basketball name. You know what I mean? Like it's
I
a
think
re-
it is. Rain,
I-
make it rain.
I think
yeah,
it's
but
a
if
great
you play for
name.
Utah Tech, it's not. Like if you're at Kentucky and your last name's Rainwater.
I think Tennessee Rainwater's awesome. Why is Caillou good? Caillou's. What am I missing something
the
there?
TV
Caillou,
show.
Caillou,
that's
like the
probably
TV
like-
show, like the little bald kid.
Oh, okay, got it.
But that doesn't mean anything for basketball. I mean, Tennessee Rainwater. Imagine Rainwater, just hypothesize or imagine him beating Tennessee at the buzzer with a 3. That clip lives in infamy forever. It's a great basketball
I'm
name
with
based off
Blutman.
potential.
That's true.
It might never happen, but the 0.00001% chance that he does that, all timer.
It's a good point, Blutman.
That's a good point.
Tennessee takes down Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Come on.
that's pretty good.
So
Rainwater from half court.
That's cool. Yeah. good point.
damn. So 1 for Rainwater, Che or KB. Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, Caillou. That just might be like Dan Taylor to the Chinese. I don't know how rare that is. But yeah, I like Tennessee Rainwater. I think it is goofy, but unlike Always Right, where they were given right, which is already a word. They had the name Rainwater, which is goofy, and they just rolled with the goofiness. Gave him Tennessee. I think it works. I think it's funny. I'll go with that.
Would any other state name work for that? Like
Is it the
Hawaii.
Kentucky Rainwater? Tennessee is just cool.
Tennessee's the best.
Tennessee is a cool. Yeah, it kind of
Sounds like a country band.
Alabama wouldn't
Tennessee
be bad.
Rainwater.
Does sound like a
Mississippi,
band.
Mississippi would be pretty elite.
Mississippi Rainwater. Yeah, that's the perfect amount of
Mississippi
syllables.
would be a weird. Tennessee, as crazy as it sounds, it almost works as a first name.
I agree.
If it wasn't a state, and someone would say, "Oh, Tennessee," I don't think I would.
Mhm.
Hey, it's not a
Yeah,
bad first
I think
name.
that ending SC is like
Yeah.
a very.
I always thought
Namey.
Kansas as a made more sense as a name than a state.
I could see Kansas
Kansas.
being a name.
Kansas
yeah.
Rainwater.
Kansas.
Not like it's Rainwater.
Okay,
just
okay,
Kansas as a first name.
Mississippi Rainwater just is the perfect amount of syllables, though. I do like that. So 2 for Tennessee Rainwater, Che.
Yeah, Tennessee Rainwater. I don't really get the Caillou thing. I will say that my antennas are up with this guy being fake, just because you got an Asian center I think that's pretty rare. Obviously, you got Yao Ming,
Yao
Zach
Ming.
Edey's half, but
Just-
those guys ain't
He's
walking
half
around
center,
too
half
much.
forward.
Yeah, give me Tennessee. That is a sweet name, Tennessee Rainwater. I like
Tennessee
that.
Rainwater, Dukes.
I'm going Caillou for the one thing that would be cool if Caillou hits a 3-pointer and you're in the arena and the guy who does the PA is like Caillou.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, that
It
works.
would be a huge payoff in that sense.
He is a center though, so presumably not taking a lot.
You're there for the 1-3 he takes a season.
One for Caillou,
Yeah,
3 for Tennessee
Caillou's
Rainwater.
doing nothing for me. I'm with KB. That's like that's just a pretty common Asian first name and last name. Tennessee Rainwater's fucking awesome.
Yeah, it's a good one. So now we have the Cheah-In Game. Only 3 options, not a lot this time. So I'll send those over to you now. We have, let's see, Snooky Wigington, guard out of Ryder, Churchill Bounds, forward out of Wagner, and Townsend Triple, forward out of BYU. His eyebrows are crazy. I didn't notice that before. Holy shit. So those 3 options are for our Cheah-In Game. Townsend Triple, Churchill Bounds, and Snooky Wigington.
Churchill Bounds is insane.
That's a crazy.
Churchill. What?
Churchill
Bounds.
Like instead of Churchill Downs, which is where they do the Kentucky
Oh,
Derby.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So Tommy, you're up first. Snooky Wigington.
I haven't got these pictures yet. These visuals.
Neither have I.
These visuals are really important to me.
Yeah. They didn't
Yeah,
come
I
to
need
me?
to see these eyebrows you're talking
Yeah,
about.
I
Oh,
need to
sorry.
look these men in the eyes when I judge their names.
All right, let me turn off the Wi-Fi in here. Is so fucking bad. It's crazy. So Snooky Wigington, Churchill Bounds, and Townsend Triple. Townsend Triple's eyebrows are insane. Like I didn't notice this when I initially made this graphic. They're fucking crazy. I don't know if the visual helps you at all.
This is tough.
Mm-hmm.
Churchill Bounds.
camera.
Churchill Bounds works with that
Churchill
face.
Bounds did make me kind of chuckle.
It's
Townsend Triple. I like Triple. I don't like Townsend. I don't like that guy's face particularly.
It's a big part of
Snooky Wigington, like I would bet, yeah, he's a short guard. I bet he's quick. I bet he's real quick with his handles, Snooky Wigington. I mean, Churchill Bounds got a chuckle out of me, so I'm going to go Churchill Bounds.
this. One for Churchill Bounds. Dukes.
I know I already did it, but my antenna is up.
For who?
Churchill Bounds.
Okay. You already guessed. You're
I
out.
know.
You're out.
Given the color scheme, Townsend Triple is my vote.
Townsend Triple.
Townsend Triple. Like if he's just going automatic from 3 all night, Triple can't stop hitting triples.
Mm-hmm. Townsend. I wonder if he even shoots from 3. So one for Townsend Triple. Che.
He's on BYU.
I'm going Churchill Bounds. I mean that's Bounds being someone's last name that plays basketball. You got to be a really strong rebounder. If not, this guy's a complete waste. But yeah, like Triple has 2 P's in it, so eh. And then Snooky Wigington. I mean, the Snooky most people are familiar with is the Snooky with an I.
Damn right.
Wigington only has 1 G. So Ryder.
My antenna's a little up on Churchill Bounds too, but I'm not throwing my flag.
Che.
Churchill Bounds.
Churchill Bounds. 2 votes for Churchill Bounds. KB.
I'm going Churchill Bounds because it's such a foolish, silly, stupid pun. Like the last name Bounds. Like no one thinks like let's do that pun. It doesn't even like necessarily completely rhyme with Downs. There's a D at the end. It's so stupid that I respect the parents for just rolling with that.
Yeah.
And the other ones just aren't strong enough. Like naming your boy Snooky is. You think he was born?
Gotta be a nickname. Gotta be a nickname.
He was definitely born before.
He plays in
Shore.
Jersey, and he's a. Wigington looks spelled wrong. Townsend Triple, they don't flow. That doesn't flow at all.
Mm-hmm.
Like Townsend. I'm going Churchill Bounds
Another one for Churchill Bounds.
because it's such a bad name.
Blutman.
Townsend Triple. I think it makes a lot more sense than basketball saying, and you just extract more value out of that. So I'll go with him.
I kind of agree, but I think they could have done so much better with the last name Triple.
Townsend is not.
What would
doesn't
you rather?
roll off the tongue.
What? Triple from downtown?
But like you could name him Tommy Triple. I think they're trying to
Townsend.
say or
They could've
something.
done
That's what they used to
Tommy-
call me in,
first-
in
His name should
intramural
have been Town
softball in
Triple.
college. They call me Tommy Triples.
Tommy Triples.
I had a triple once.
What if his first name was Triple too?
Triple. Then you need a middle name to be Triple
Well,
too.
then he'd be double
Trip,
triple.
trip,
Yeah.
triple would be
Triple
pretty
double.
neat.
Yeah.
Triple would be cool.
Yeah. Either way, Churchill Bounds is going to move on. I keep wanting to say Downs. What a stupid fucking name. Sorry, Townsend Triple. He's going up against our number 1 seed guard out of UAB, Toney. I like Toney quite a bit.
I thought someone else was going to be the one seed.
Oh wow, and neither of them are spelt as the normal Tony.
No, both spelled weird. Tony.
I appreciate his parents doubling down. Like they could have gone and named him Anthony Tony.
Yeah.
And it would have been Tony Toney. But they said nope. We're doing the same. We're doing the same
Yeah.
exact first name.
I love Toney. It's just a funny name, especially because there's the band Toney. So like it just makes
Toney.
it. I think one of the members just recently passed, but Toney is just. I love it. So we'll start with you, Blutman. Toney versus Churchill Bounds.
I remember Toney from the Jelly Walker days at UAB. This is Toney in a landslide. Not even. I'm not rocking with Churchill at all. Toney's just good or reliable. This is easy.
Yeah.
One vote for Toney, KB.
Toney is spectacular. There's gonna be like some jealous Italian dads. Like, how did that?
So mad at the
This guy-
TV.
Yeah, he's looking at him and he's like,
Yeah.
"That's
What?
Toney."
You can do that twice?
Oh my God. 2 for Toney. Che?
3. Toney in a landslide.
Toney's gonna win.
I fucking hate Churchill Bounds.
That's such a bad name.
Yeah. Like, I'm irrationally mad at these parents because KB nailed it. It's not even close to being, like, if it was BOWNS, I'd have more
It
respect
makes
for
me
him.
think that Churchill might just be like a family name, and
It
it
just happened to-
unfortunately kind of rhymes with Churchill Downs.
Do you think any of his friends call him Churchill, though?
No. I don't even, like, what do you even
Chill.
call him, though?
Church.
Church.
Chill.
Chill is kind of cool.
Chill?
Chill,
Ooh, okay.
wow.
Chili Bounds.
Would the
CB?
game have changed if he was like Churchill Bounds Jr. or Churchill Bounds the Third?
Yes,
The third
Yes.
would have fit with the Churchill.
Third, yeah.
because you're just thinking of, like, an old Southern family, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I do think Toney also has just, like, unlimited range for, like, an announcer. And I'm really trying to picture how an announcer will use this.
Tony.
Double for Toney. Like, it would
Yeah.
be, they'd love it. So he's going to win, but
Yeah,
Tommy?
someone makes sure, and I don't have a stutter. His name is
Toney.
Toney. Yeah. Yucking it up in the broadcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would just love to see the moment his parents decided on, fuck it, Toney again.
Like the nurse is like, are you sure?
Yeah,
The nurse, like, only does, like, Tony.
Yeah.
They're like, no.
No.
So you see what's in that last name? Repeat that over to the first name.
We're going to
box.
run that back. We're going to run it back.
Run it.
So Toney's going to move on. On the other side, we have the 11 seed versus the 6 seed. The 11 seed is Kuol Atak. Kuol Atak forward out of Oklahoma, and he's going up against the number 6 seed, Gob Gob, guard out of Kansas City. Gob Gob's a tough one.
Cool Attack's fake. I'm throwing my flag.
You throwing your flag?
Yeah.
Kuol Atak's real.
Damn,
Attack's
because
real.
the way it's spelt is like incredibly creative.
Cool.
It probably means something. And
Yeah, wherever he's from. Yeah, Kuol Atak
Oh, this is easy.
versus Gob Gob Tommy.
I mean, it's Gob Gob. Gob Gob's hilarious. Cool Attack. I mean, I appreciate it more because it isn't spelt like Cool Attack in English. But I mean, Gob Gob is that's just very funny.
Fucking rocks. It's so good. 1 vote for Gob Gob.
Gobbling up the boards, something like that.
Mine is Cool Attack because he's probably like from Africa or somewhere, or
Yeah.
his-
You got it.
Or-
Be thinking.
or it's a family name.
He looks Irish to me.
But you know his parents weren't thinking like, oh, he's gonna be like a basketball player. And Americans will like pronounce it Cool Attack.
Right. It's probably like
It was
it's
so
also probably
ins-
like Kual.
Yeah,
Right.
it's
It,
definitely-
it was so on accident. It was so on accident that makes it 10 times cooler.
it kind of does, yeah.
Yeah. So 1 vote for Gob Gob. You're going for that as well, or
I'm going Cool Attack and like a
Ooh.
4-0 sweep.
Ooh, 1 for Kuol Atak versus Gob Gob. Jay.
Definitely Kuol Atak because on basketball you want to be attacking. Gob Gob is an interesting name, but all I'm picturing is Bill Raftery just Gob Gob getting locked up and calling somebody the Gobstopper.
Ooh. Oh, damn, Jay. Damn it.
Hey, I'll
Great,
say
Jay.
it. Pun of the episode. Crown
Great.
handed over.
Great job, Che.
And I'll give it early.
Yeah, damn. So you're gonna go.
Plenty of time left.
You're gonna go with Kuol Atak, Jay.
Kuol Atak, yes.
2 for Kuol Atak, 1 for Gob Gob. KB.
I agree. I do like that Kuol Atak was definitely unintentional. But it doesn't really work to me as like a 2-word phrase because attacks aren't cool. Attacks are more vicious and intense. So I don't think you would ever describe an attack as
Snowball.
cool. Gob Gob is just also the opposite of cool. That's more of an insult to me. That's why I appreciate that they still decided to double up on Gob.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna go Gob Gob by a little bit.
So 2-2. Once again, Blutman, you have to break the tie. Gob Gob versus Kuol Atak.
I'm going down the rabbit hole, and I'm finding the parents and the siblings' names, and I found it for Churchill Bounds, by the way, and I could bring that up after. But Gob Gob's siblings are named Alexis, Cochrane, and Ayak.
That's incredible.
That makes it even better.
That makes it so much better.
The parents are Emmanuel and Angier. So like, how did
No
they
theme there.
no theme at all? They just slapped on Gob Gob. Like,
Yeah, Alexis.
I don't
Alexis
mean-
Gob is kind of a tough name too, to be honest.
Brutal. I'd much rather be Gob Gob.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gob Gob. The first thing that comes to mind for me is like a gooey, slimy character in a Nick Jr. show, and the kids all love him, and the merch is just selling off the charts. I like Gob Gob. I'm rolling with Gob Gob.
2, one more for Gob Gob, which means Gob Gob wins. You had a Churchill Downs research?
Yeah,
though?
I got Churchill Bounds. Father is Hank. Mother is Luis. Brother is Alden.
What the fuck?
So
So
they are
where'd,
It's a
assholes.
little weird.
Yeah.
where'd Churchill come from?
Alden Bounds.
Oh, that's
Kind
not bad.
of plays.
So now we have our next matchup, number 3 seed versus 14 seed. The 3 seed is Po Boy King, guard out of NC Central, going up against the number 14
wait a
seed.
minute, Ken.
There's a wrong picture, I know. Going
alright.
up against Birgir Irving, forward out of High
Does
Point.
that mean one of those
I'll
two
send-
is fake?
This picture is wrong. I'll send you the right picture of Birgir Irving. There, and he looks like he's the most standard human you've ever seen in your life. So Po Boy King versus Birgir Irving, starting with you, Blutman.
My sus is up for Birgir Irving right now. Po Boy King, I know, is a real human being. I'm now destined to find the parents' names and everything, but mother is Carol Ann Helfer.
For
And
who?
he's
Po Boy
for
King?
Po Boy King. Yeah, I'm not gonna look up the other guy because I don't know if he's real yet. Po Boy King, I'm a fan of Po Boys. It'd be tough to pick again. Just being the king of the Po Boys, like that guy rolling up to New Orleans, red carpets out for him. He would make a killing. We should hire him just to do Po Boy reviews, and he'd be next up.
His NIL money, if he went to Tulane, would be through the roof.
Mincy hates this guy.
Yeah.
This is Mincy's biggest competition.
So 1 for Po Boy King versus Birgir Irving. KB.
Yeah, I usually don't like super performative names, like just naming your boy Po Boy, but it's kind of working for me here with the alternative spelling and the apostrophe. And Birgir Irving just doesn't really do it for me. I think Birgir is a funny name, but it looks like it's
Probably pronounced differently.
European.
Yeah, like Turkish or some shit.
I'll go Po Boy King.
2 for Po Boy King. Jay.
I'm also gonna go Po Boy King. I think Birgir Irving is fake.
You think Birgir Irving's fake? You're going to call it?
Just because it's the other picture, and then this, like, Irving, okay, that's a fairly common last name. Birgir spelled this way, but also looking like this kid. This kid doesn't look like an Irving or a Birgir. So give me Birgir Irving as fake.
Birgir Irving, very real.
Yeah, that
Mm.
Kenjac would come up with something better than
Something
Birgir
better
or
than that.
Irving.
Yeah.
It does
Alright,
make me
fair.
think maybe Townsend triple is fake because that's the other one in that double picture. I don't know if anyone wants to use one of their flags. I already used them.
I feel like I've seen triple before.
All right.
Just throw it
Yeah,
out.
give me Po Boy King.
Po Boy King, 3 votes. Doogs?
I'm going Po Boy King. Blutman had this like idea in my head where he goes to New Orleans and he like purposely like tries to show every bartender his
ID,
and they're like,
yeah.
oh, we got to get you that Po Boy.
Yeah. the first Po Boy place like endorsed by Po
Yeah.
Boy King. Yeah. Tommy?
Yeah, Po Boy King in a landslide. I like it a lot. It's absurd, where it's not like, with King you could do a lot of stuff, whatever King, but to do Po Boy of all things, the Po Boy King.
Out of all sandwiches.
of all items in the world.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
What's the item that you'd go to naming your kid if last name was King?
If it was King?
Yeah.
Calzone
Pho?
King.
Yeah.
Calzone King.
Pho King instead?
Pho.
Yeah.
Pho
If you're
King.
picking a different
That's
sort
just,
of
that's just
Is that
not
too
right.
crass?
That's just not right.
Yeah.
No. My mind went to lemonade.
Lemonade King?
Not bad.
Just a different food. It's different food items. Yeah, there's somewhere you can go with that. So Po Boy King as we move on. Now we have the 10 versus the 7 seed. The 10 seed is Solo Ball, out of Yukon. Solo Ball, Solo, just a great name, just a basketball name across the board. Going up against number 7 seed Phat Brooks. This is a guard out of Michigan. So Phat Brooks versus Solo Ball. Starting with you, Tommy.
These are two big teams here, Blutman. You have any idea if one's fake or real?
Again, I'm so checked out, but I would throw my challenge flag on Phat Brooks. But of course, like, he could have just got this name because the grandma sees him as a chubby little baby.
Yeah, I agree with
the
you.
chubby-
I've seen
like, I
names
can
like
feel
this.
like it's
Plenty
real.
of names like this.
Yeah, I'm not gonna throw a challenge flag.
You're not gonna throw it?
I would be sus on Solo Ball, but I don't think Kenjac would put the fake player on the most popular
No,
team in college
Solo.
basketball.
Solo's a real fella.
Yes.
I like Solo
He had
Ball.
a big
He's
Maui
also
invitation.
like he's like also like I'd say the best player on UConn.
No, they have that white fella.
Solo Ball is probably better.
Really?
Solo's a lefty, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's electric.
Yeah, it's just a great basketball name.
Yeah, Solo Ball's awesome.
Caravan's good, but Caravan hasn't played as well as.
No, that's not who I'm thinking of. Don't they have a freshman?
You're thinking of
The
McNeely.
McNeely?
Yeah,
McNeely's
yeah.
probably, yeah.
So we're gonna go for Solo Ball over Phat Brooks.
Yeah, Fat Brooks, like KB or whoever said, like it's, or Blutman said, like, yeah, fat baby, fat. That I've seen that enough. Solo Ball, if we're talking basketball name, that's fantastic.
So it's
Solo
not
Ball.
fat like FAT. It's PHAT.
Yeah.
So it's cool, kind of like
Pretty hot
Just
and
Oh, it is?
not
Yeah.
doing it.
That's-
PHAT.
That's an. I mean, I don't have it, but that's in. I mean, I feel like if you're on Michigan,
And your name is Phat Brooks.
yeah.
All right, so
He
well,
also
I mean,
looks
he
like Lil
also
Bow Wow.
he does. I mean, Brooks. There was a guy I want to say, Eli Brooks, who did play at Michigan a couple years ago, number 55. So maybe it's a younger brother, but I'd be shocked.
so Tommy's going Solo Ball. Are you going with?
I'm going Solo Ball. Solo Ball, I think, is
Solo
one of the
Ball.
coolest names ever.
It's perfect. Solo
Yeah.
Ball, Che.
Yeah, Solo Ball. I mean, like a lot of times when James Harden will have the ball up top, they call it like ISO ball.
Yeah.
So Solo Ball, you can rename an entire offense after that. So give me Solo Ball.
Solo Ball, KB.
Yeah. Solo Ball is strong.
It's a tough one to beat.
It's
Blutman.
Lance Armstrong.
Yes. If professional basketball doesn't work out for Solo Ball and like the NBA or whatever, he'll always have a spot on the Harlem Globetrotters. He'd be one of the best. Just like he could go to Rucker Park anytime he wants and just play endlessly 1-on-1. Solo Ball's he could make a killing in so many ways. Easy.
It could confuse the defense too if the defense yells, "I got ball, I got ball."
Yeah.
It's like, are you guarding the
point.
guy with the
Hey,
ball?
you know
or
what?
Are you guarding Solo Ball?
Maybe not
Well,
as good
if
as
you-
Tommy's, but that was pretty close.
What
Or
if-
sorry,
good.
Chase.
what
Ah,
if
no,
you-
that was. I wouldn't even put that in the running. It was a little too expedition-y. Yeah.
You gotta get him on an NBA team with LaMelo, Lonzo, bring in LiAngelo, fly in Andre, LeVar
Andre.
coaches,
Yeah.
and add Solo.
Yeah, I like that. So either way,
Possible.
Solo Ball is going to move on. Now we have our 2 seed versus our 15 seed. Our 2 seed is Jizzle Jones. Jizzle James,
Yes.
guard out of Cincinnati, and he's going up against Porky Romano, guard out of
Porky
Green Bay.
Romano's fake.
Porky.
Porky, who wants to throw the flag?
I'm calling it.
Who's throwing the flag? Who has a flag
All
left?
of us.
I am call.
That's someone's face.
Y'all got
you
it.
know that face.
That just
Wait,
looks like
wait,
Art-
wait,
that
let me
looks
see the
like
face.
Art-
Titus.
That looks like Titus.
Yeah, that's Titus.
And also, his jersey says Phoenix, and the thing says Green Bay.
It's the Green Bay. I don't know. It's their.
It's
It's
the Green Bay Phoenix, but the
That-
jersey, it looks so Photoshop.
That's so
Yeah, 'cause it's
obviously the
fake.
fake one.
So-
I know.
It's also Titus's Ohio State jersey photoshopped.
Wait, is somebody? Is anyone raising the flag on this?
yeah.
Yes.
Actually, no, I'm not. This might be real.
So wait, who? You guys can't. Che can't. So only KB.
One of you guys
or
have to.
I'm
Blutman.
throwing the flag.
I'm holding out. I'm holding out hope. I think this guy might be real.
Blutman.
So
Throw it.
Blutman's throwing the flag on Porky
Titus's face.
Romano. Porky Romano versus Jizzle James. Starting with you. Blutman.
Wait, what's the result?
What? Oh, it's fake. that's Mark Titus with a fat filter. So Blood.
I wish Porky Romano was real so bad.
that is a good name, Kenj.
You still can vote on him. So we'll start with you, Blutman. Jizzle James versus Porky Romano.
The legend of Jizzle James gets greater when you just know that his dad is Edrin James, and Edrin James just decided to name his kid Jizzle.
I
didn't know that.
This is no offense to Porky Romano, one of the all-time greats. That this is Jizzle James for sure.
1 for Jizzle James. KB.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna vote him, but it's so funny that a star named their child Jizzle. I don't know if that was supposed to be cool, or maybe it is cool in some circles. I like it. Jizzle James.
2 for Jizzle James. Che?
He looks like Edge too. So yeah.
I got a story.
Unbelievable. What a coincidence.
What a crazy world.
Yeah, Jizzle.
What are the fucking odds?
So 3.
It's the cockiest thing you could potentially do is to name your kid Jizzle.
Mm.
Because if he's not an athlete, he's just stuck being an accountant.
Or a porn
Jizzle
star.
James. But
Oh.
right. But you also the payoff that if he's good at football or basketball and his name's Jizzle James and it worked out here, he's a great player.
Is he good in
He's-
basketball?
He's the best player in Cincinnati.
Well, does that mean
damn.
good or is that
Drizzle makes it
relative?
drizzle.
Yeah,
a lot
like-
of potential there.
Shizzle my Jizzle, like everything.
So 3 for Jizzle James. With Doogs?
Yes.
Yeah, I
Jizzle
feel like
James.
it went
That by the way,
default
that would
anyway,
have been
but-
my number 1 seed overall.
You would have been
That
Jizzle
was the one
James.
you
He's
said
number
before?
2. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought was gonna be the number 1 seed.
Yeah. So you're gonna go with Jizzle James as well.
Yes.
Poor Porky Romano. Not gonna move on here.
In a
What a
world where
name,
Porky
though.
Romano's real, he probably sweeps through.
Yeah, easily. Porky Romano.
I was trying to think of one, and like the first thing I thought of was just Corky Romano, the movie with Chris Kattan, and I was like, Porky, just make him fat. I mean, it's easy. So now we have the through the playoffs, Always Right versus Supreme Cook. My wife jokes there somewhere. Tommy.
I'm going Supreme Cook. Always Right. I think I was turned off a little bit the more it was. This might be crazy. Does anyone else think that I look a little bit like Always Right?
Let me see.
Let me re-look at him. Not like
Is it crazy to say
it's
that?
not insane. Like you would
One of
have
the
to,
craziest things I've ever heard.
you'd have to put a lot of filters on you, and change your genetic makeup to a slightly
Like I could see a world where that's me in another universe.
Is that something you would be interested in looking like?
No. Like I don't think it's necessarily a compliment. This isn't like me being like, "Oh, I look like Dirk."
I think it's an
Jeter.
insult to
but,
him.
like,
I looked at him and like I almost thought he looked a little bit like Kyle Kuzma. A lot of people tell me I look like Kyle Kuzma. Like I get a decent amount of tweets saying I look like Kyle Kuzma. It's all kidding aside. It's one of my top celebrity lookalikes I get,
Wow.
and I
That's
actually
crazy.
can kind of see it where they're coming from.
Um,
But I'm going
Supreme
Supreme
Cook.
Cook.
I could kind of see it too.
one for Supreme Cook versus Always Right. Doogs.
I'm going Supreme Cook. It also, it's better knowing that Supreme Cook is like actually good at college basketball. Like he's actually a force. He's one of the best transfers in the portal last year.
And Always Right is not good.
He's playing for Rhode Island, and Rhode Island's like
That's fair.
a mid-tier A10 team.
So 2 for Supreme Cook. Jay.
Supreme Cook for sure. That is one of the coolest names that I've ever heard, basketball or not.
Wow.
Basketball or not, wow.
It's gonna be sick too if Supreme Cook is good in like March.
Who won our football one? Was it Parker Titsworth? I forget.
No.
Was it someone else?
Oh, what was his name? Guy,
Oh, Dude Person.
dude, person.
Dude Person. Yeah, I forgot about that. I was about to say,
That was
Jay
a
would have
real
loved him.
name?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think he was like
Central Arkansas.
yeah, Dude Person. So 3 for Supreme Cook, KB.
Yes, Supreme Cook is just so cool and powerful, especially for a large elite athlete. So I'm going that.
Supreme Cook, Blutman.
Yeah, Always Right was good story. Had no business even being in the second round. Benefited from a very easy first round matchup against Moses Hips. Always Right. The
Most
day
gets
is
got
over.
screwed.
That's true. They didn't factor that in. So Supreme Cook is going to move on. Now we have Toney versus Toney's so funny. Toney versus Tennessee Rainwater. Blutman.
Good matchup.
Yeah, Toney, and I'm gonna find out his parents' names.
If his dad's name is
Threat?
Anthony. Yeah.
Yeah, Anthony Toney, and then naming him Toney instead would be elite.
So 1 for Toney.
Oh, no parent names on the bio? That's bad.
We'll find it.
He has to name his kid Tony, right? Tony Cube?
Toney. KB.
I don't like Tennessee Rainwater taking an L here in this round, but Toney. The same name twice. It's not a novel concept. It's been done several times.
Gob
but
Gob?
Yeah.
Toney just works for me. I think it's funny. So I'll go Toney.
Another one for Toney. Che.
Tennessee Rainwater is awesome, but yeah, you can't replicate Toney.
Can.
pretty-
That's what they
Yeah.
did.
That's exclusively what they did. Yeah. 3 for Toney.
Toney. Name so what is it? Name
so
so
nice
nice
they
they
named him
named him
twice.
twice. Yeah,
Yeah.
like that. That just fits.
Toney's going to win, but
I think I would have went Tennessee Rainwater. I really liked it. Toney. It's
I
funny,
can hear that
but,
out.
But Tennessee Rainwater. If we're talking best names, to have Rainwater as your last name
To
and
get
you-
blessed with that.
Yeah,
last
and you could
name.
fuck up a first name like Mark Rainwater. No, thank
Or-
you.
yeah.
Keith Rainwater. Like,
Yeah,
it
but
doesn't work.
Tennessee Rainwater.
They took the alley oop and they did a nice.
It was a
slam
risk.
Dunk.
It was a risk.
It was a risk.
I
And
would
they
like to be in the
pulled it off.
hospital for that name. How
What?
did they decide on Tennessee?
Tennessee.
Are they from Tennessee?
Very
No, he's
Blutman?
from Washington.
Oh,
Huh.
I don't like that actually.
Seattle
Actually makes me hate
No,
the
I-
name more.
So Toney's going to move on. Toney versus Supreme Cook to go into the finals. Tommy.
Ooh, it's a tough one. Toney, Supreme Cook. I mean, Tony's funnier for sure.
Mhm.
But Supreme Cook is fucking awesome. I'm going Supreme Cook.
1 for Supreme Cook. Doogs.
It's the best basketball name, Supreme Cook.
Supreme Cook. Che.
Yeah, Supreme Cook. Was that the first one we did?
Yeah.
It's gonna be tough to beat Supreme Cook.
Another one for Supreme Cook. KB.
The Supreme Cook has graced the internet, correct? Like the name.
What do you mean?
It's been all over. Like I feel like I've
Yeah.
seen it.
He's
on
good enough
Twitter.
that you would have seen him. Yeah.
Yeah, no, the name. It's just so good. I have to go Supreme Cook.
Supreme Cook. Blutman.
On the off chance that if he has a good game in the first round tournament, Twitter is going to be fawning over this guy.
Yeah.
He'll take the internet by storm. We could maybe speak it into existence. A Supreme Cook buzzer beater would, a little mid-range 2 or something, tough layup would be the best thing possible. And if the announcers fail that, I'll be depressed, I think.
So Supreme Cook is going to move into the finals. On the other side, we have Po' Boy King versus Gob Gob. Just a fucking
Yeah, this is.
It sounds like a Pokemon
yeah
battle.
matchup. Yeah. Starting with you, Blutman. Po' Boy King or Gob Gob.
This to me is the Clash of the Titans, the true title. Like, I don't know what I love Gob Gob. I genuinely want to create some animated character and call him Gob Gob and make shirts and sell it. But Po' Boy King is so good too. But, I don't know what to. I I don't know what to do.
Malfunction.
I
Stroke.
love Gob. I love.
You can hold
Gob
your
Gob.
vote.
I'm no holding the. I love Gob Gob.
You love Gob Gob.
The Gobstopper.
One for. Imagine if Po' Boy King was related somehow to Martin Luther. down the line, he was Po' Boy King. KB.
Yeah, this is tough. I agree. I love naming your kid Po' Boy out of anything. But Gob Gob. Gob Gob is so ridiculous. It's like a comic book onomatopoeia in a little bubble.
The thing I do respect about Gob Gob is I was like, oh, maybe it's like, a family tradition
Yeah.
or something. But the fact that his dad's name was what? Like a
Like Emmanuel?
And that's what gives him the edge for me.
Yeah.
Just, we're going to name this one Gob Gob. that's the one.
2 for Gob Gob, Che.
The prince who was promised.
Gob Gob.
Sorry, what was going against Gob Gob?
Po' Boy King.
Po' Boy King. Fuck. Yeah, I like Po' Boy King. I respect Gob Gob. We've seen that before though with like Bol
Bol Bol, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Po' Boy King. You just imagine that guy going into an eating contest that wasn't even about sandwiches or po' boys, but just like a pie eating contest. That's the most intimidating guy on the roster.
Oh, boy,
Well,
King.
the definition of gob is a lump or clot of slimy or viscous substance.
Jesus Christ.
It's the most unappealing word.
So you're going to go with Po' Boy King, though, Che?
Sir.
You know what? This is why. Gob Gob's like the Mucinex mascot.
Yeah,
that
yeah,
green
yeah.
booger guy.
That's his real
Yeah.
Yeah, Gob Gob rocks.
2 for Gob Gob, 1 for Po' Boy King. Doogs?
I think Tony's better than Gob Gob, so I can't vote for that. Po' Boy King is like calling your shot when you're in the hospital. You're like, my son is gonna have to like po' boys when he grows
Yeah,
up.
no
Like
choice.
if he just doesn't like po' boys, it'd be the funniest thing in the world.
Yeah, that has to be.
gluten-free.
Like you're,
Yeah, I was about to say
you're
gluten
basically
allergy.
like
Yeah.
you're deciding like you're the po' boy guy for the rest
That
of
had
your
to be
life.
so stressful giving Po' Boy King his first
Yeah,
Po' Boy.
and we're talking.
Do you like it?
Not really.
You're just force feeding him po' boys
Right.
all through our childhood.
2-2, Tommy. You're going to break it. Po'
This
Boy
is
King
tough.
or Gob
This
Gob?
is a hell of a matchup. This is Gonzaga UCLA Elite 8 matchup from whatever that was 5-6 years ago, that OT game. Gob Gob inherently makes me chuckle. I have to go Gob Gob. It's not easy, but I'm going Gob Gob.
Gob Gob's going to move on. Then we have Jizzle James versus Solo Ball.
Oh, that's a toughie.
Solo Jizzle would have
It's
been
an
a great name.
absolute toughie.
Solo Ball
this
Jizzle.
side of the bracket was loaded.
Jizzle James versus Solo Ball. I mean, Solo Ball is the more like basketball-y cool name, but it's almost like doing too much. Jizzle James is just shit, player. Jizzle James.
Quote, that's a quote card. That's a quote card.
Yeah.
I'm going
Shit,
Jizzle
player.
James.
1 for Jizzle James, Doogs.
Doesn't matter the announcer. Jizzle James will always hit.
Yeah.
2 for Jizzle James, Che.
Do you think the announcers would ever drop a first shizzle if he drops like a nice 3 in somebody's face?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Gus Johnson calling Jizzle James games is all I'm picturing.
Oh man.
First shizzle, my jizzle.
Showtime for Jizzle James.
Jizzle James.
2 for Jizzle. 3 for Jizzle James, KB.
I originally didn't think Jizzle was a cool name. I thought it was embarrassing, but I wasn't looking at it through the correct lens. Tommy, please say the name Jizzle James.
It's just like shit, player. Jizzle James.
Yeah, it's cool. I'm going Jizzle James.
Jizzle James, another vote. Blutman,
That
just
boy
stamping
Jizzle
his feet
James
over
is
here.
cold.
Blutman.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, Jizzle.
Jizzle James.
Yeah, when we say like Jizzle James, like
Yeah.
that's not very cool.
Yeah.
When you say Jizzle James, then it is.
then it is.
So Jizzle James versus Gob Gob to go into the
He
finals.
would have been a great slot receiver too.
Jizzle James.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jizzle James versus Gob Gob. Starting out with you, Blutman.
It's like Tommy said, just hearing Gob Gob, just it just makes you so happy. And I gotta stick the sword in him and kill him off for Jizzle James. Is what it is.
Poor
Just-
Gob Gob. So 1 for Jizzle James, KB.
I was having a blast with Gob Gob, but hey Tommy, who that is? Who that is?
Boy,
over-
Jizzle James is cold with it.
You're like Jeff Teague. Holy shit.
Yep, that's my pick.
Oh, shit. 2 for Jizzle James. Che.
We haven't even talked. You could shorten it to Jizz James, and that's just
Shit.
completely.
It was implied.
We were all thinking it.
Yeah, let's go with Jizz.
LeBron.
You think people call him that as a nickname?
That's LeBron's like medical sign-in sheet.
Yeah, Jizzle. So 3 for Jizzle James, Doogs.
Yeah, I don't think Gob Gob's that cool. I think it's pretty under. I think
You've
it's
been a
done.
Gob
isn't
Gob
bull
hater
white.
for a while.
Yeah,
It
it's
has
been
been.
it's been done before. Like Bol
Bol.
Tony's way funnier and way better.
Tony is better.
Yeah.
Never been
Jizzle
done before,
James.
Never been Gob Gob.
There's never been. Yeah, I would bet there's
I
never
was
been
not.
an actual Gob
I was not a
Gob.
day one Gob Gob. I don't think I voted for him once.
You know,
Dude
don't,
hated Gob
Yeah.
Gob. I saw it. Yeah.
In your
don't
eyes.
be there. Don't be there next year when Gob Gob. You know what? Gob Gob's gonna transfer a date, and then where are you gonna?
Oh, yeah. What do you do?
I get a Gob Gob jersey, 2 names.
do? Yeah.
So Jizzle James versus Supreme Cook
Side note,
in the
really quick.
finals.
Do you think any announcer has ever called him Gob? Like Gob for 3.
Gob for
You
3?
have to
Yeah.
only say Gob Gob,
You have
right?
to say it twice.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I think it has to. It's only 2 syllables, too. It's not
Blocked
crazy.
by Gob.
Yeah. So Jizzle James versus Supreme Cook in the finals. Start with you, Tommy.
Oh wow. I mean, let's just hats off to us.
We
This
did
is
good.
a fantastic finals.
Yeah.
The thing about Jizzle James is not a great last. I mean, it's fine. last
LeBron
name. It's not a
James?
bad, but it's like whatever. Like you're not. You find out someone's last name's James. You're not expecting it to be a fun. Like it's not Rainwater.
I kind of forget that LeBron James has the last name James.
Yeah, agreed.
Which is kind of a weak name.
He
Yeah.
should have named one of his kids.
He's either
Jizzle.
LeBron or LeBron James. You don't really think of the isolated last name.
Yeah, that honestly, it's a I love Mike Breen, Fordham guy, great call, but the Game 7 block against the Warriors where he goes blocked by James, it just doesn't quite hit as well as it could have by blocked by LeBron. Anyway,
That is an interesting
No, I think you're
perspective.
actually. Yeah, I agree.
I
with your
never
perspective.
thought
Yeah.
about it. I
Blocked
always
by
thought he nailed it.
James.
yeah, Jizzle James. it's tough.
But
I don't know.
Supreme Cook.
Maybe I'm wrong. Is James a cool last name?
I think it's like.
Part of me thinks it is. Now.
Cook is way cooler.
It's not really a cool first name.
I think it's the coolest
James.
of the most generic.
I would agree with that.
Is it that
I-
generic?
I think it is a cool.
Yeah, like it's in the
James.
same world as like Johnson and
No, Johnson is way more than James.
I think that's a step below like Smith
Really?
and Johnson, but it's one of the I
Rick
would say it's one of
Rowe.
the 15 most common last names.
Rick
in
James.
the-
Yeah,
Rick
like
James is very
James?
Yeah.
Am I?
Oh,
I'm
Johnson,
struggling to think of
Williams.
other James.
I don't think it's that popular. of a name.
I kind of
cool.
Really?
Kevin James.
Kevin James.
Rick
Oh
James.
shit! There are a lot of James.
Rick
I
James
thought
is cool.
that there were so many.
Ronnie
Jameses.
James.
Sonny
We
James.
can look up, or I'll look it up
We
on
can.
I'll look it up on my website. Bear.
Theo James,
Alright.
big actor now. He was in The Monkey, which we
Yeah.
hated, but he is a big actor
Wasn't
now.
he in White Lotus season 2?
He is in White Lotus season 2. Lily James, great actress. Yeah, I hate this fucking list where it's like, what is it? It's famousbirthdays.com, where it's just all TikTok stars you've never heard of in your life at the top of the list.
Raymond James.
Okay, it's popular.
James surname.
Jesse
There's
James.
1.5 million in the world.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Where? How
That
do
is
I?
a lot.
It's the
Millions is a lot.
344th most common surname in the
Okay.
world. Most
Hmm.
prevalent
That's
in
not- that's not
Nigeria.
15.
Yeah. So either way, though, Tommy, Jizzle James versus Supreme Cook.
I'm going Supreme Cook.
1 for Supreme Cook.
I think Cook, if you had 2 last names separately, Cook, you could name anything in the first name, and you probably won't fuck up how cool of a name it is with last name Cook. You
Yep.
have to nail the first name Jizzle for it to be in the final. So my answer is Jizzle James.
Who was
It's
it?
79th in the U.S. for the record, James.
Was there a...
5th in Papua New Guinea.
Was the Michigan quarterback, or Michigan State? Connor
Brady
Cook?
Cook?
Look up
Connor
Gob
Cook?
Gob.
Connor Cook,
Yeah, look up
Brady
Tom.
Cook. Like
Brady
these are
Cook,
all like.
yeah.
Even if his name was King Cook, it's cool.
Yeah, there's a lot
really
of.
cool.
I think if you have alliteration on Cook, it makes it much better.
Right,
too.
like Cook is
Cook
just
always hits.
like
Yeah.
if you're gonna say the finals, like last name Cook or last name James, like you have to
Yeah.
fucking nail the first name.
Jared Cook. There's a lot of
Yeah.
Cooks.
I think Cook is wildly. It's way more common than James.
And it's
Yeah,
a very
Cook is-
cool last
Let me
name.
look it up on Forbes.
It is
Captain Cook, also cool.
Yeah, like you can do so much with it. so-
James Cook.
Cook
James Cook.
surname
Damn.
918th
It's kinda boring,
most common in the world.
But even
in-
James
but
Cook
in the
is boring.
U.S.,
Sick.
it's
We're talking
56th.
U.S.
56th in the
There
U.S.
we go.
So
That's
above
big.
in the U.S.
Jizzle.
Let me look up Gob on my website. Forebears.
Forebears?
IO.
How many gobs we got?
So forebears.io says that approximately 1,060 people bear this surname, Gob. It's most prevalent in the Philippines.
Wow, did not expect that. So either way, Jizzle James, Supreme Cook both have one vote. Che.
It's only 327 of them in the Philippines.
Sorry, Tommy. Supreme Cook and who?
Supreme Cook and Jizzle James.
No, sorry. Tommy. Who is it? Supreme
Oh.
Cook and who?
No.
It's Supreme Cook and Jizzle James. I'm imagining like he came back. Like, is that Jizzle James?
At like an AAU tournament, and he's going off, and there's all
Yeah.
these murmurs.
And the person saying that could be of any race,
Of course,
religion,
yeah,
and
yeah, creed, yeah.
That is not supposed to be an impersonation of any specific group.
How would Wanda Sykes say Jizzle James? Is it a real one? Is there?
Jizzle James! Goddamn, Larry!
Jizzle James.
I'm going Jizzle James.
2 for Jizzle James, 1 for Supreme Cook. KB.
I'm enjoying Jizzle James more. I think the reason I don't want to vote Supreme Cook is because it's not that funny. It's just really cool. But if we're doing best, try doing Supreme Cook, Tommy.
I don't know.
It's you can't,
I
right?
had the same
Supreme Cook. Supreme Cook.
I don't think it
Can you
works as
imagine
well.
Supreme Cook like on Iron Chef or Chopped?
Oh, goddamn
No, I
Supreme
couldn't.
Cook.
It just doesn't play as well as Jizzle
Yeah.
James. You think you need Z's. The Z's help a lot.
Oh,
Goddamn
I have,
Supreme Cook.
when I think of Supreme Cook, I think of him in like 20, 25 years doing one of those commercials that's like, 99% of college athletes go pro in something other than sports or whatever. Dude.
Yeah.
I feel like Supreme Cook's doing one of those, and he's like killing it at Enterprise.
Yeah.
I will say what also hurts.
Yeah.
What also hurts Supreme Cook is he's not a point guard.
What is he? Oh, wait.
He's a forward.
Forward. No.
Ooh, I would
like
have guessed he was a
6'9".
shooting guard.
Right, which sucks because you could be like Supreme Cooking.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
You can still say that,
You
but-
still can, but like you're thinking of a guard. You're thinking of a shooting guard that gets
Yeah.
hot from 3.
Yeah.
It just it hurts it a little bit.
Yeah,
knowing
you
the
get
position.
like Cook grabs another rebound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not as nice.
Jizzle James for 3.
That's
Yeah.
KB, Jizzle James or Supreme Cook.
I gotta go. The sanctity of myself, I gotta go Jizzle James. I just enjoy it more.
Jizzle James is gonna win, but Blutman.
Yeah, I would have gone with Jizzle, but all I've been able to think about for the last 10 minutes is Che got this idea in my head. Why LeBron should have named the kid LeJizzle, and that would have been best name of all time.
LeJizzle James.
Legit.
LeJizzle James?
Are we better than LeBron
I mean, they
Jr.?
probably got like had kids around the same time period too.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
should have talked to Edrin then and got some advice.
Yeah. It looks like Edge.
I wonder if they ever called each other to get like name advice.
like Edge.
Like, what would you do with this last name?
It looks like
Looks
and
like
it looks like Edge too.
It looks like Edge. You're the only person I've ever heard call him that too. Edge and James.
Yeah.
Looks like Edge, my man Edge.
Yeah, my boy Edge looks just like him.
So that means the winner of the episode, bracket episode 166, is Edrin James. Oh my
Whoa,
God!
no, my God.
Jizzle James.
Jizzle
is the winner.
James!
Jizzle James. Sorry,
Edge.
is the winner of the bracket episode.
Jizzle James.
We'll be back next week with the episode. You know what I was thinking about before? Just something I never really put together in my brain. The fact that Tom Brady's name is Tom. I don't know why. That's just like he's not a Tom.
Some guys we're so used to their full name that we forget what their first name even is. Yeah, Tom is weird for his look.
Yeah. I don't know what his name should be, but like you look at him and like every Tom I can think of, I'm like, that's not like Tom Brady's not a Tom.
Darren. Yeah, I was thinking of more of like a narrow-faced, sexy name.
Every name I can think of, like I can always think of a fat guy with it. Like Keith is.
No, he's no Keith.
No, Keith is too round.
Keith is rugged too.
Yeah. Maybe like
I mean, honestly, it's cheap, but Brad would fit him.
Brad would definitely fit him.
Brad Brady.
He looks like a Brad or a.
The more surgery he does, the less like a Brad he looks like. As hard
Brad
He does have an
Brady.
absurd amount of surgery.
Yeah.
Brad Brady's a high school bully name.
Yeah.
Brad Brady is a bully name.
Who-
Tan.
Who did the school shooter kill? Brad Brady.
Yeah.
He told him specifically to come to school that day.
Who are some other?
Brad Brady.
Is Morgan Freeman a Morgan?
No. God,
That's crazy. I don't
Like,
even know what.
what are the other former Morgans? Like Morgan Spurlock? Like Morgan Spurlock is a Morgan.
He's a Morgan.
No doubt in my mind. By the way, another Morgan that does fit Morgan Wallen.
Yeah, absolutely a Morgan.
Mm-hmm. We were saying people whose names they don't fit their, like who they are. Like Morgan Freeman, like he's just not a Morgan. Tom
I
Brady.
don't know if I agree with
Tom
that.
Brady's not a Tom.
Tom
That I
Brady's
agree
not.
with.
He's not a Tom.
No, definitely not a Tom.
But
You think
those
Mor-
people are so famous, it's hard. Like, they
That's
own
what I'm
those
saying.
names.
You
Like, it's-
forget what their first name is, kind of isolated
Yeah.
from their whole name.
Tom Brady looks like a Kyle.
He
That's
does.
right.
a
always
Chris,
thought
maybe.
that.
Chris, yeah, Chris is a
Definitely
good one.
One of the sniper names.
Chris or Kyle.